Hey, it's John Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie.
What's going on? I'm trying to find a wire here. Oh my, where's this plugged into? Hang on a second. This is the way I smoothly start the show. Oh, this is the wire. It's Tuesday, and I'm curious what's going on in your life. In my life, we're having fun because I'm inside and it's cold outside, and that's all. Okay, there's more to it than that. Lots of cool stuff coming up in my immediate future, but I hope you're doing well. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And despite having to unplug and replug my Stream Deck to make it work, we're in business. I've also figured out the whole Wi-Fi thing. We should have no further issues, at least not related to technology. We can always have issues. Issues are fun, sort of. And for anyone who wonders why I don't call tech support, I am tech support. Yes, I am a one-person show. And I am responsible for my own fixing of stuff and things. And if things don't work right, it's because I probably messed it up. Anyway, experimentation, making things interesting and new. We are currently broadcasting on a whole bunch of different platforms. We are on, well, let's list them. We're on X, LinkedIn. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. We're on Rumble. Anybody using Rumble? I haven't heard from anybody using Rumble, but we're there anyway. We got a bunch of people coming in on YouTube. Akela Draconis with greetings and salutations. Julie Massey says, good morning, Sean. We have somebody trying to sell me something on Kick because that's the kind of messages I get there. And then we've got Nicholas Rizzi who wants to know about stuff and things. We'll flag that for in just a little bit. If you got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, please reach out and ask questions because basically I want to know what you got to say. Yes. This show can only be an hour long today. Often I go late, go long, talk for a lot longer than I should. And that's because I love answering your traffic and police questions. Call me your spirit guide to the Highway Traffic Act. I am here to help you on your journey to enlightenment about things that cause problems on the road. Yeah. A lot of people don't get it. You are out there doing your thing. And most people think that that's the focus. It's just me doing my thing. There's a whole lot of moving parts. And I see the tragedy surrounding poor choices on the road. And then you see all sorts of horrible drivers. And oddly enough, people are very quick to point a finger and say, that driver sucks. But very, very rarely do they put that finger on themselves and say that they're not perfect either. And you know what? We could all do a little bit better. So what is going on in the world? Well, we now have no automated enforcement in Ontario. That's a thing. And we have people who are accelerating. I want to know if you have seen people speeding up in your neighborhood. Is there a change? I think there is. And I think it's pretty profound. I'm seeing people going a lot faster. than I would have previously seen. No, I know they're going faster. My iPad is, I changed. So not only did I fix the Wi-Fi, but after I fixed it, I went and got a new thingamabobber, a new router altogether because I renewed. And I talked about this briefly, but when's the last time you looked at your bill? Do you just pay blindly, or do you actually check to see if you're getting a good deal? This is not an advertisement. This is a warning. If you're not checking to make sure you're getting a good deal, you're probably not. And I mean that they change the prices sometimes. They update things. I'm totally not able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Typing in passwords while trying to talk about stuff and things is harder than it looks. So I'm going to just stop pretending that I can do it and just press the password. Hopefully I got that right. Did I get it right? Did I? Come on. Yeah, I did. So check your bill on a regular basis. See if there's any overages. What I did is I didn't check the bill. And as a result, I paid $50 more per month for about 3 months. That really pissed me off. So I went through and I called the people at Rogers. Well, they don't actually answer telephones anymore, but I got them on a chat app that they have. And after hours of waiting online, I did get through to them. They did say, "Oh, gee whiz, we can totally give you a better deal." And they did, which I then have to put in the calendar and ensure that I check again, because in 2 years or 24 months, it's going to go back up to a ridiculous number. And then I will be pissed off all over again. And that just doesn't seem like fun. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So check your bill, make sure you're getting the best deal. I was being charged more than the current top tier for a faster. So it was $120 a month for 2 gigabytes of data speed. I think gigabits to gigabyte. I don't know what it is. And then I was paying more than what the 2 was, and I was getting 1.5. They didn't even offer 1.5 anymore. Anyway, I'm going to stop whining about this. I hope you're doing well, and I see a whole bunch of people with questions. So let's get into the first one. Nicholas, I think you were first to the party. It's likely not traffic related, but let's see what it say. His question is: was there ever a time you were in the wrong place at the wrong time? That happens all the time. I've often, and I'm not alone in this. Many police officers have referred to themselves as poop magnets, using different terminology. But yeah, I was the guy driving back to the station for end of shift, and I'd end up arresting someone for impaired operation. I was always in the wrong place at the wrong time, or I was in the right place at the right time to do the right thing for the right people and help make the road safer. Wasn't always going with my personal plan, but I was there to do the thing I had to do because I was about protecting and making places safer. So yeah, it was the right place at the right time. Just it always felt like it was the wrong place. Ian says, "Good morning, Sean." Good morning, Ian. Hope you're doing well. And Mary Lynn Metra says, "Hello, Sean." Hello, Mary. Good to see you again. Brandon just jumped in with a morning, Sean, and all from Disney Destiny. No, you're on the Disney Destiny. Disney Destiny is the newest cruise ship from Disney Cruise Lines. And I've been watching all sorts of footage on it. He says, you're all amazing and have an amazing day. Sean will be back next week. We should do lunch. Yes, let's make that happen. I want to hear all about Disney Destiny. This is the newest ship, and it has a heroes and villains theme. I'm very interested to know what your thoughts are on this. Now, my side gig, something that I do, and you can actually follow me on the Shap Rewired channel. It's I happen to be a travel agent, a travel consultant on the side. I've been doing this for years. I just happen to not talk about it publicly because it wasn't a thing I really wanted to blur the lines. But you know what? There comes in a time in one's life when you can talk about travel and not feel guilty about it. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, we got Nicholas who says, "What does your cop voice sound like?" Does it sound different than you mean my yelling voice, my direction voice? What I mean is someone giving you trouble and you need to let them know you're in charge. It's loud and it scares people. And my family has rarely heard me use my cop voice, but it sounds like this, but louder and more in charge. I guess I don't know how to describe it, but I'm not going to use it now because I like my microphone and I don't want to break it. I'm worried if I yell into it, it will damage it. We got Insure with Duchant says, "Hello, good morning." Hello, and good morning to you too. He's got a question. He says, "Sean, one question. Recently in Scarborough, windows of 5 cars were shattered and insurance along with ownership was stolen. What's the possible misuse of those documents?" Well, glad you asked. Never leave documents like that in your vehicle. people break windows and steal those documents to find out where you live, to possibly target your home for later thefts, or to use that information to somehow apply for other things, stealing your identity. The more information they can gather on you, the better. And then they can go and try and do all sorts of things pretending to be you. Or they could use a similar car and provide those documents pretending to be you just for the purposes of getting away with driving without insurance. There's so many different ways of utilizing information for wrongdoing, and those are just a couple. But you really have to be aware of of what you leave in your vehicle and what risks you put yourself in when you do that. So first off, you don't need to carry your original ownership documents. Photocopies will suffice, but fold them up, and put them in your car, but only when it's in your pocket and your pocket is in the car. Poor way of saying it. Don't leave it in the car. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your purse. Put it in your wallet. Don't leave those documents in your car to be stolen. You do need to have your original ownership and your original proof of insurance, which could also be an electronic secure form through an app. And that way, you're never leaving it in the car. But there's no reason to leave documents in the car. Don't even leave your mail in the car. The inside of your vehicle, although I'm not a good example of this, should be clean. I say I'm not a good example because I found nuggets, like chicken nuggets, I found food from my children. It's hard to keep it perfectly clean, but as clean and tidy, nothing there to be interesting. When someone looks in the window, they should see the seat, not the stuff. And change in the cup holder, I used to do it all the time. And then I went to some calls where windows had been smashed by persons in downtown who just needed a couple bucks to buy whatever they needed to buy. And if you see change, it's a reason to break a window for some people. It's still illegal, but it's a reason to motivate, or it's enough to motivate some persons downtown. Just saying. Okay, he asked, and I've already answered that. Boom, thank you. Okay, if you're watching on any platform, wherever you see me right now, please like, follow, and share. Also, we're getting closer to that 1,000 mark on YouTube. If you're not already a YouTube subscriber, please go to VoiceOver Cop on YouTube and follow me there too. It does help the algorithm. It does help us find more people to talk to. And I'm trying to hit 1,000 so I can unlock new features. Yeah. Some weird stuff going on TikTok today, or so it seems. See what's going on there. Stand by. Stand by. Is it really a problem? I mean, I see that we're live, and but I don't see questions coming in. So maybe they're having some issues. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to try with another platform too, just to see what's going on, because something ain't right. Something ain't right. I don't know if it's the plot. One sec. One more thing. We're going to check here. No. Oh, I see. Sixall says, okay, so just nobody in here. That's weird. It's the second time. It's the second time I've had an issue where TikTok is like just doing its own thing and not working properly. So we're not being fed to people because there's like 3 people in the live. Hi, Melissa. And oh, Daddy is there watching too. Yeah, that's very strange. No likes. Please tap the screen till your fingers go numb and send some likes this way. It does help people come in here. And Sherwood Deshawn says, "You're amazing, Sean. Thanks. You're very welcome. And you might be amazing too." All right. Let's see. We've got a newsletter that we're now, I keep saying we, like there's a ton of people standing behind me. A team. We're trying to build a team. We're trying to grow the organization. This whole thing that we do is part of Better Traffic. Yes, Better Traffic is a not-for-profit organization that I created when I left the police. It's called the Canadian Organization for Better Traffic Safety and Education, Inc., and it's a not-for-profit organization that wants to make roads safer everywhere. We want to do that through engagement and education online and in person, and we're doing it. We're doing it, but right now it's me doing it, and we need more people so we can become a we. Just saying. I would like to thank the magical people at Diamond and Diamond. They're sponsors of the show and the organization. They want to make sure that you're safe and everybody else. Now, they are Canada's largest personal injury law firm, and they do that to help you. Yeah, that's a business, but they're the best at doing good stuff for people. Amazing. Anyway, thank you to them for supporting us, which is me doing this. Crazy, I know. Okay. Akela says, I sent a video with 3 jokes to you via Telegram. We have a Telegram group, and he's in it. Oh, Ian says that I have to sound like TJ Hooker or Dirty Harry when I'm using my cop voice. I don't know that. Yeah, Tracy says TikTok is definitely not working right. Yeah, it happens. Listen, it makes it that much more personal to hang out and chat with a small group versus a large group because sometimes it's just busy. It's just busy. I think I know what's going on here. Gaming rank. What is this? I've got there's this new maybe it's because they're doing some silly promo. I pressed a button that says gaming ranking. What is that? Yeah, no idea what this is. Some kind of competition to get people to do live streaming, and it's screwing up the system. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And that means I need to lean on all y'all for more stuff to talk about because we rely on conversations, we rely on questions. And Sixel says it just happens sometimes, 100%. Now, one of the things that I talked about when we started the show up was that we're seeing people going faster. What other kind of stuff are you seeing on the road? What is your biggest pet peeve? What are the problems that you have when you're out there driving around? And what pisses you off? Because it's amazing how much bad driving we see when we're on the road. I see it constantly and forever, and it's infuriating. Whether it be the person who doesn't understand what a zipper merge is, and by the way, please, please, please reward zipper mergers. The folks who use the entire lane, they're helping to keep traffic moving. But I'm annoyed, incredibly so, by the people who make the lane change or stop their vehicles at the top of the lane, right at the beginning where the on ramp is, and they leave a kilometer or more of, well, kilometer is an exaggeration, but a whole lot of road in front of them empty. They should be filling that space. A zipper merge. I need to have a video to share with you all about this, but it's a major problem because they just don't get it. There's a lot of folks who don't get it. Pushing through late yellow that turns red on a left turn. So this is one thing that was the fuel for many a joke. You know, there was the guy who he was doing his driving test, and every time he saw a red light, he hit the gas. No, I already screwed up the joke. Every time he saw a green light, he stopped. And the instructor yelled at him and said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, my brother's driving, and he's going to be driving through all the red lights. So I have to stop the car." Okay, worst delivery of that joke, and I'm just putting the pieces together. I have to look up how to actually tell that joke because apparently the one that's in the cobweb infested area in the back of my brain, the old area, the attic joke poorly stored there. But anyway, that's what I was. Never mind. Let's see here. It doesn't get smaller and more personal than strolling through. Okay, there you go. Ian says, had to see a client in Montreal proper. I live in the burbs. In my daughter's Micra, some idiot in an F-150 blows by me at least 60 or 70 in a 40 zone. Local cops were there and stopped that idiot. It's good. It's always good when the police are around. This is funny. Everybody wants the cops to catch the people who upset them, but never want to be caught themselves when they break the rules. So one of the best examples was someone who someone who lived in a neighborhood in Toronto who petitioned to have a speed camera installed in their neighborhood, and then when they got the speed camera, they got tickets by the speed camera, and then complained that the camera that they had requested be installed gave them tickets. True story. Tailgating. Mary doesn't like those who tailgate. I can appreciate that. Tailgating, no bueno. That's another thing. I was just interviewed for an article on the Globe and Mail, or in the Globe and Mail, for the Globe and Mail, and the discussion was, is it illegal to slow down or stop when making a right turn on a green light? And that was an interesting conversation because the truth is there's nothing to prevent you from being safe and cautious, but everyone seems to want you to get out of their way because they're important and have somewhere to go. So they wrote into a newspaper to have that question answered, and I'm confused by it because if you think slowing down before turning it should be illegal, you probably shouldn't be driving because that's scary. A lot of people don't understand. For instance, the people who honk at others who stop for stop signs longer than they'd like to see them stop or actually stop. The number of people who tell me that they are getting honked at and yelled at or given the finger to because they properly stop for stop signs is shocking. And it's not a one-time thing. I hear it from many people. I've experienced it myself. I like to do a proper stop, not only because it's the legal requirement, but because it pisses everybody else off, and I enjoy that more than average. I mean that I come to a stop. If you have a problem with the fact that I stop, that's really a you problem. That's my thing. And I kind of like poking the bear. If that person has a problem with it, then I think the rest of their day should be miserable. Preet says, "Sir, I have a traffic court date while driving on a suspended license in Saskatchewan. What can happen?" Ooh, what are the consequences in Saskatchewan? I don't actually know. So let's have a quick look and we'll see what we can find for you. Okay, I'm gonna look you because I'm very familiar with Ontario, but let's look at Saskatchewan because now I'm curious. Hmm. Now, why were you driving on a suspended license? That's the question. Because there's really no excuse. So what happened? Tell me more. Okay. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, SGI, that's the Saskatchewan Government Insurance terms. You can be charged for driving while your license is suspended or disqualified under the Traffic Safety Act of Saskatchewan. Section 140 of the TSA prohibits driving a motor vehicle on the highway while you are disqualified. Well, we know that. Disqualified is very different. Disqualified is generally the result of a court proceedings in a criminal court, impaired operation, things like that. Usually suspension is different than disqualified. Okay. SGA website warns you can be fined for $5,000, imprisoned for up to 5 years, or both, depending on your conviction. But that's still talking about disqualified, I think. Driving with a suspended license means you do not have a valid. That's insurance. See, I don't like this blended baloney where the province is your insurer as well. And Moldawi says that hello from Insta because TikTok seems goofy today. Yeah, we're seeing that. No question about it. Hopefully fix it tomorrow. So by the way, for anyone who's was hoping for another evening late after dark, I have yet another evening event tomorrow. I don't know why I change my evenings to Wednesday and then the world makes all events on Wednesday night. What is with that? But tomorrow night I need to be at an event. I'm actually going to a non-policey event. I'm going to a Black Friday event for celebrity cruises because I'm a tour guy. I'm a travel consultant, and I want to learn more stuff about celebrities. So this is an educational opportunity to learn some stuff and things. You know, it's tour business and travel business stuff. I like cruising. I've never been on a celebrity cruise ship though. I'm a Disney princess. No, I'm not a Disney princess. That sounds. I'm a Disney cruise line fan and a princess cruise line fan. Sorry, that was very funny. I may have to clip that and post it. Anyway, so tomorrow we're going to do a 10 o'clock show again. That's what I was getting at. And hopefully the TikTok is not broken for tomorrow. Okay, back to this whole thing. DM me. Rather than just trying to Google and find you quick answers on your Saskatchewan question, because it's confusing when they do this dual thing where they're the insurer and the licensing and everything. So let me do some digging for you. I can find out what it is. And Preet says, I don't have an answer as to why I was doing it. It's my fault. License was suspended due to unpaid fines. Yeah, I hear you. Listen, life throws you some curveballs. I understand that. Sadly, driving without a license is not the answer. So I feel for you. I do, but this could be very serious. Suspension, driving with a suspended license in Ontario is very serious too. Okay, let's pull up the some more information on that because I'll give you the comparable. So driving suspended in Ontario is a minimum fine of $1,000, maximum $5,000, mandatory 6-month license suspension. So that's going to hurt you, and then you can have your vehicle impounded. That's if you at the time. They don't come after you after the fact. If it's not your first time, it's a minimum fine of $2,000. Yeah. That's assuming yours is just unpaid fine. So there you go. But yeah, if you want to DM me, we can look up and try and find more information about your Saskatchewan situation. All right, let's see what's going on here. So we got a message from Kick that was want to buy followers, and then some brave person said, "Hey, want to buy want to buy some stuff for Twitch?" Is that really what it's all about? I just want to get good information out to people who want to see it. But I'm glad that we're on multiple platforms, even though that we're having issues on TikTok today. We have the ability of still talking to you. So if you're trying to talk to us on TikTok and it's not working, or if you never get to TikTok and you can't find us there, come look at the other platforms. Ask a Traffic Cop is one, and now we also have, again with the there is an Ask a Traffic Cop newsletter. Now, I'd love to get to the point where we have one issue a day. And if there's enough information that it is worthy of sharing daily, we will do that. But if it's weekly or monthly, I'm going to share newsworthy news, articles, alerts, stuff, deals that I can get you, because I'm working with all sorts of people that I know and respect. And if they can offer you a good deal on something, I will share that with you. Yeah. Speaking of deals, it's Black Friday events all over the place. What are you buying? Is there something that I need to buy? Let me know. This is a two-way street. I can tell you good information, but you can share with me good information too. I'd love to know if there's something worthy of buying. Like I just bought, what I just bought. I bought an Apple Watch. I upgraded. I needed to get my dad a gift. Well, no, I needed to get my dad an Apple Watch because he wasn't always answering the phone because he'd fall asleep with his phone in the wrong room or whatever. And if you wear an Apple Watch, the phone ringeth on your wristeth. And I wanted him to make sure he'd answer, because when you got older parents, they don't answer the phone, you get a little worried. At least I do. And this has really helped me out. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, I bought that Apple Watch, and I bought an Apple Watch for my my missus, and now there's a $70 gift card available if you buy an Apple Watch. Actually, it's not available for the one I bought myself. I bought the Ultra 3, but it is available for the 11, and that's what I bought my wife. Anyway, those $70 is real money. Why wouldn't you take the advantage of the opportunity? If you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. Even though I'm not a cop anymore, I know stuff and things. And I was just talking to a buddy of mine who is a cop, and he's like, "Wow, I was catching up with that episode when you had a lot of technical difficulties. We were talking to John. For those who don't know, John is my former partner with the Motor Squad, and he's like, it's so good that you're still doing this, even though you're no longer an officer. What do people think about the fact that you're retired? Does it change anything?" And I said, "No, amazingly, my audience understands that I didn't get a mind wipe when I left the job, and I still know things. When you know stuff, you know stuff, and the fact that I'm willing to share it is pretty awesome, at least according to them." We've got Brandon who says it has an Iron Man suite. That's pretty great. Did you go on the media day, Brandon? Did you go on a media event, or are you just cruising? Because I just watched. So the Iron Man suite, which is okay. If you got time, if you care at all about cruising, if you think that this is something that you might want to do, not because I'm someone who can book it for you, but because it's just awesome, go look at the tours on YouTube, the walkthroughs. There's a couple of creators that I really enjoy watching, and this particular guy, this couple is two guys. They did a tour and they explained and showed everything from an inside suite to the Iron Man suite, which is sick, like multi-story dining room, like insane. But I think it's probably 20 grand a night to stay in. Anyway, it's a little outside of my budget, just a little bit. JG says Apple Watch has a lot of nice apps for the elderly. It truly does. So the fact that you can find where your family is if you need to, like I track everybody. Yes, we're like the MI5 here, and we can see where everybody is at any given time. But being able to communicate and know that they're doing well. I get alerts and says like stuff like, your dad's not as steady on his feet as normal. It words it differently. When I was injured, those alerts went to my wife. So it's awesome. You've fallen and you can't get up. It calls the police. It alerts your family. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. I like it. I like it a lot. One Stage says, share knowledge is our responsibility. Yes, sharing knowledge is. If you've got it, share it. That's the only way it does any good. All those gatekeepers who know stuff and things but refuse to tell their friends, family, and their communities, they're not helping anybody. They're not making themselves better. Rogue Jaguar says, do we need to walk only in a certain direction on a footpath? I always thought footpath was bi-directional no matter which side of the road. Oh, that's an interesting question. So if you are walking on a roadway that has no sidewalk, you need to walk towards oncoming traffic. Sounds Sounds crazy, right? Except that when you're walking towards traffic, you can see if they're coming towards you as opposed to just getting, knocked off the road. You can actually respond accordingly to avoid being hit, even if that means diving into the woods. But sidewalks, if we're talking about sidewalks, no, sidewalks are bidirectional. There's no requirement to only walk east on the eastbound side of the road. No, sidewalks are sidewalks. Now you see footpath. Is that are we talking about in a park system? Because there are bicycle paths and rollerblading paths in the city of Toronto that are painted, and they do have directional requirements, and that's really for cycling as a guide. Pedestrians are at some level of risk because they usually have a bicycle path separate from that of the pedestrian path, and you have to be wary of the fact that you're. Well, I mean, I've walked it, I've ridden it, I've ridden motorcycle on it while patrolling the parks, and man, oh man, do some people get pissed off if you're on a motorcycle in there, even if you're in a police uniform. This is my park. You can't be in my park. Anyway, whiny people. They may have a valid, concern, even though you have flashing lights and anyway, I've always been shocked at the people who come up and say, this is for bicycles. I'm like, I'm a police. The conversations I've had are shocking. Shocking, I say. Yeah. Can't park. Anyway, I do find it very entertaining when folks like I've had more than one person do this, but here completely off topic. I'm sitting in a car writing a report on the computer after whatever it was, a ticket or a collision. I don't recall. However, a person, her name may have been Karen, comes up, knocks on my window, and explains to me that it's a no idle zone in the city of Toronto, and I can't leave my engine running for more than 3 minutes. Okay. Yes, there are bylaws. They don't apply to the police. They don't. And there's a number of reasons why. For instance, if I turn off the car, the computer that I'm using to write the report will cease to function. There's communication equipment, flashing lights, there's all sorts of power draw. And they're like, but the environment. And it was so annoying to me. I might be the a-hole. I don't know, but I was really annoyed by that. And it happened more than once. Or I'd be at a collision scene with the lights on. You need to leave the car on. They're high draw. You will kill the battery. And considering you need to be able to go somewhere after you finish at the scene, like I've had so many times where, and here's a different example, but I had a computer in the back of my Harley Motor Squad, and you can't actually type on that computer when the Harley's on, because I don't know if you know anything about Harleys, but they vibrate a lot. So the screen is vibrating, the keyboard is vibrating. You can't do anything. So you shut off the bike. Well, the draw of flashing lights and or computer and or the battery didn't last very long. We used to have a lot of issues, especially my motorcycle, because it was blessed to be a battery drain. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere. You can't really push and bump start an 800 or 900 pound motorcycle as easily as you think. I had to get towed away all the time because it had all sorts of issues, mechanical problems. Yes. So yeah, I sometimes I didn't get it. Listen, this is also which comes down to like these cop watch people, the folks who watch the police and have issue with the fact that that the police park in places that they're not allowed to park in. I think a lot of the issues are that people don't like it when you can do something that they can't, and the optics suck totally. If I park in a no parking zone as a police officer, it sucks because they go, well, you're not allowed to park there. I'm not allowed to park there. If I park there, I get a ticket. How come you don't park? How come when you park there, you don't give yourself a ticket? Which obviously a police officer is not going to ticket themselves. They're doing it actively. Now, going to an emergency, park wherever you want as a police officer. Park on the sidewalk, park on the curb, park in the no parking, park anywhere, park in the accessible parking. You're going to an emergency. We'll figure it out later. Then there's the guys who are guys, girls, people, going to get a coffee. And they get criticized for parking in a no parking zone there. Now, I say don't park in an accessible permit spot, but park where you like. I understand that when the radio goes and there's an emergency, that copper has to go respond to that emergency. And if they are, 1 second, Brian Max is is calling me because he forgot my schedule. But I did change my schedule. I used to do nights on Tuesdays, and anyway. So the Copper squirrel Copper goes for a coffee and in a spot, and people could criticize them, but they have to be able to respond at a moment, chuck the coffee, and run to the car. Well, you don't want the Copper parking 2 blocks down around the corner legally and friendly like. You want the Copper to be where they can respond. So they park possibly in a legal spot, in a illegal spot. But they have to do that. They really do. Because they have to respond. Anyway, I go all over on this topic because I'm always shocked. Everybody wants the police there now. They just don't want them to do they don't want them to break any rules or do anything that they're not allowed to do because they're really jealous of, it's not fair. It's not fair. Hey Melody, how you doing? Did I say hello to I think it was Melissa I said hello to before. Melody the mechanic is in the live. Lash is in the live. Powertrain 123. Hockey ref. We got a bunch of Moose 53. We've got people in the live. It's good people. I don't know why, but for some reason TikTok ain't working right. Okay. We got a Nicholas Rizzi trying to ask a question. Let's see here. Okay. Let's go. Let's dive in. I haven't read the whole thing. They said, if you pull me over for speeding, but you ask me to open my trunk and I comply, and then you see I have a case of plutonium. We're back on plutonium. I should have known. Do you have a new set of questions for me? Is transporting plutonium illegal? What's the fine? Or is this one of those questions that are above your pay grade and give me a speeding ticket and only let me drive on my way? That's a really interesting question. So many people, I think, would be like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want anything to do with it. And then there's people like me who would be like, I have questions, as you alluded, and we're gonna phone a friend, possibly the military. I would not just say go away. I don't want to deal with it. I'd back away. We'd be putting up some police tape and calling in everybody. If I could identify that as something that was harmful and not just a canister to make your vehicle look like it's got a time machine. Like if you pulled up in a DeLorean, I'm gonna like high five and take pictures with you. But if it's not a DeLorean time machine replica, we're gonna definitely have some questions. And yeah, I think I'd be calling in the National Guard. We don't have a National Guard, the Army, so they can clean the snow and we can figure out the source of your plutonium. I love those movies, by the way. Back to the Future, the best. Ian says, transporting plutonium, you must be going back to the future. Yeah, we're on the right page here. Too funny. If you're just tuning in, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And your questions make for a better show. So ask them. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to talk about. Movies. Ooh, speaking of movies, my buddy just saw a movie about starring Brendan Fraser, who is an actor in Japan, and he is out of work, can't find jobs, and he becomes a fill-in person, like he plays the role of someone's father, but in their life, in their family. And apparently this is real. He said it's a really heartwarming, magical film and that everyone should see. I have not seen anything but the preview, but I didn't even hear that this existed. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that my buddy told me that he was going to take his family to see this movie, I would never, there was no hype. There's no hype at all on this movie. But Brendan Fraser is awesome, so I'd like to go see that. Okay. What is the best movie you've seen? And have you seen a movie in the cinema, or do you watch everything on Netflix or some other streaming service? And if it is a streaming service, which streaming service? Strictly an educational conversation. I'm curious to know. A friend of mine was a big Paramount subscriber for a long time. I don't think he subscribes anymore. I have Amazon because I'm an Amazon subscriber. I do the Amazon Prime thing. So I watch a bunch of shows there. Bosch might be my favorite one on Amazon Video. Just seeing. Lash says, I was speaking with a fellow named Officer Bender about a government-provided minimum insurance PLPD. No more third-party scoundrels. It's a runaway market that's out of control in many aspects we need. So, Lash, are you talking about the fact that in places that have government insurance, it's better than private insurance? Because you think that third-party or insurance companies are scoundrels? Hmm. Interesting, because I I don't I understand that it can be more expensive to have real insurance than a government insurance, but in places like Saskatchewan, in places like, is it Alberta or is it British Columbia? You're capped as to how much you can sue for. So you get injured and you have $1,000,000 of damages. You get $5,000 because that's the maximum they cover you for. That's it. And then if you were insured in Ontario, you can sue for up to $2,000,000 because you have coverage for whatever you need for as long as you need. But I have a friend, and she's an adult now. But when I first met her, she was a much younger person, and I met her because her mom tells the story of this young lady getting injured in a collision and having long term issues, and they're still. She's now married, and she's still got issues from that collision that were never compensated for, not appropriately. So I don't know. If you're saying that third party insurance companies are bad and it's too expensive and they shouldn't have it and the government should do this minimum stuff, I think there's severe drawbacks to it. Oh, JG says, okay, we're going back here. So talking about plutonium, Nicholas says, "Can you please call a friend now? I need and make it a TikTok. I want a real answer, and I deserve my taxes. Pay the army to answer the question." I don't actually. I have some friends in the military. Maybe I can reach out to them. I don't think they're in the plutonium response team, but I do. This could be actually a very funny conversation. I'm gonna consider exploring your request for a TikTok investigating the the what if of I pulled over a guy with plutonium. Okay. Letting them know that we're not gonna yeah, anyway. Uh, Ian hasn't been to a theater in years, and JG has stopped every subscription, and only for the Christmas weekend I get Netflix. So you do you do the 1 week free, like, trial, and then you cancel it just for Christmas? Christmas movies are the best. I something so there's a couple of deals that are on right now. One, if you need Photoshop, they do an introduction Black Friday deal where it's like half price, 40 or 50% off. If you need Adobe Creative Suite, it's a great time to get it. There's deals on just about any piece of software. Like I use LumaFusion. I don't know about this year, but last year they had like 60 or 70% off. I took down the video I did for it last year because I was promoting it. I think LumaFusion, which is normally $29 or maybe it's $40 Canadian, is such a low cost app. And I think it worked out to 80 or to $10 if you wanted that app during Black Friday. If it's a deal, check out the App Store. Even the App Store has amazing deals, and take advantage of them when they're available because they don't last forever. And the what was the other thing? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Okay, it'll come back to me. I read here, Lodge, who said, "Yes, sir, it's the legal aspect after the collision that I need to be fixed. I spent 10 years in litigation." Oh, he says he won all five, and it was basically insurance companies arguing about who should pay the lowest amount. Okay, the deal is that I agree with you in terms of sometimes it's really hard to get paid, and they squeeze you and don't want to pay you the appropriate amount. I think there should be some regulatory stuff. They should pay the people who are legitimately requiring coverage and payment. Um, but on the flip side, I think that the companies that just don't pay anything are terrible, and that's usually the government run ones. So, very, very interesting. That's a conversation. I'd love to have more conversations about that. Maybe we do a podcast and talk about that. If you're a pro in that area, I'd love to talk to you about it. That sounds very interesting. Um, so so I accused JG of getting the 2 week we call it freebie from Netflix to watch the Christmas movies and then cancel on the freebie. And they said, "I'm not that cheap. I pay for the month." Okay, what is it, 10, $15? I don't even get Netflix. And I, I, listen. I know somebody. Do I know them? I knew them. I don't know them. They're not my friends. They're other people's friends. That I'm not. So I haven't seen them in years. But I knew this couple that was so cheap that they would get a Costco membership in January and return it in December and then get it again in January. Now, I don't know if you know this, but they have a policy that they have a satisfaction guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied, you can have that $100 returned to you or whatever the cost of the membership is. Now, maybe I'm the idiot because what they have managed to do is for however long they've been members is recycle $100 January to December and return. So they give it and they get it back. I, however, have paid thousands of dollars in Costco memberships. They might be, onto something. I think it's disgusting. I think it's inappropriate, but they've done it for years, and I'm assuming they're still doing it. My God, have you ever hung out if we can have a channel just hanging out at Costco? Have you ever spent time at the Costco return counter? It's amazing to see what people return. I watched a guy return a rust bucket of a barbecue that must have been in his backyard for a decade, and they accepted it. He said, "I'm not satisfied." They said, "Well, it's clearly you've been using it." He says, "Yes, but I'm not satisfied." And he stuck to his guns, and they accepted it. They said, one time, we're only going to do this one time." I remember after Christmas one year, I saw someone return a half-eaten block of cheese, a half-eaten cheesecake, a fruit tray that had been picked through. Didn't taste good. Yeah, not impressed. I was not impressed. Lodge, thanks to you for the gifts. The gifts on TikTok or wherever you want to give them are appreciated. They go to the not-for-profit organization that I started, and the goal is to grow the organization and help more people answer their traffic and police questions. Oh, Akela Draconis comes in and says, there are procedures in place for a nuclear emergency. It does not start with a hazmat response. MTO will be there. Or it does start with a hazmat response. MTO will be there for the transportation of hazardous goods. Do you know that even that there are things that you can, I forgot what it was, but there's a protocol, even if you have something at your home that's dangerous to transport. There's somebody else. Sorry, they want to sell me users. The kick thing, it's hilarious. So, yeah, if you have like chemicals or hazardous stuff, there are things that are dangerous to transport, and all you need to do is apparently contact your local fire department, and they give you instructions about leaving it close to the curb. I think it's for battery. This might have been in relation to lithium-ion batteries that are bulging because they're dangerous to transport because of their ability to what's the terminology for it? It's to not spontaneously combust. However, it is thermal runaway. There's concerns about thermal runaway. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. Lodge says, Elash says, it's a whole mess, isn't just one fix. He says, yes, sure. We'll speak soon. I promise to reach out to you. P.S. You're doing great things here. Thanks very much, Lash. Okay. What is this? Oh, Tien Luan says, Tien says, I've read from Reddit, there's a former employee who said customer consumed the rotisserie chicken at the food court and returned the bones for a full refund. Come on. For real? Maybe I got to spend more time on Reddit. I don't read Reddit. Is that the best source of information today? What I really want to know is how these people sleep at night. Well, others are going to argue that other people are taking advantage and they're just getting their fair share. But my goodness, that's just no, it's terrible. I watched a video last night on TikTok as I was scrolling instead of doing things that were more important. And I came across a video where a woman was talking about the doctor. User was Doctor something. She was talking about a hairbrush being sold for $30-ish at Shoppers Drug Mart. And she was explaining that hairbrush cost them $1.30. And she was explaining further about how much money how much it should be charged, how much of the retail price should be based on what's appropriate. It was very interesting to hear her breakdown, but she would say that's profiteering. Interesting. Apparently, so it's funny. Melody says Instagram's frozen. Interesting. It's frozen. I'm seeing it here. We're just having technical. I've solved my technical issues. We're now on full speed ahead stuff and things. Let me just make sure we're here. Yeah, I'm operating on 6 gigahertz, 6 megahertz, gigahertz, 6 gigahertz. All right. I'm just going to test my stream. Can I test my stream? No, because I'm logged in. I can't. Whatever. It is or it isn't working. Why should that surprise me? The technology. We have the technology to sometimes work. Carl Freeman, 5429, says, good morning, Sean. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. We've got Melody, who says, thermal runaway with lithium batteries. We have lots of rules with EV batteries. Amazing. There's an episode, if you're interested in this, and maybe I'll replay it because I think it's a fantastic episode, and I have it archived, and we can rebroadcast it. But it's on the Voice Over Cop YouTube, and it's with Chief or Deputy Chief Larry Coco, I believe is his name, and he came into the studio when I was with Toronto Police, and we talked about thermal runaway. It is fascinating. It is terrifying what these batteries can do and how difficult it is to put out a fire. Because I really believed that thermal runaway was a bigger issue on our roads than it is. It's terrifying when it happens, and if there's any kind of damage to a battery, if you try and hypercharge it with the inappropriate equipment. This is specifically talking about e-bikes, but if you mess with it, it's going to mess with you. I thought there'd be far more fires and risk than with gasoline cars, but he said gasoline cars are on fire way more often. I thought that was interesting. I've not had a personal vehicle go up in flames, so it's like, wasn't really something that was on my radar. Even with collisions, I don't remember a collision where the car was in flames, or at least not many. Not when I was there. I had been on scenes for them, but I've never had to rip anybody out of a burning building or vehicle, I should say. Whereas you hear these horribly tragic stories of battery powered vehicles going up in smoke, but they're a very, very low percentage. They just get a lot of media attention. All right. Looking over here, Chris Wright from TikTok says, Sean, when on a highway, can I enter merge lane if dotted line? So you mean you're driving on the controlled access highway, you're on the 401, and there's a merge lane to your right. Can you enter the merge lane in order to pass someone else, you mean? Let me know. We can just talk about it. So that's what he said. Yes, that's what he's talking about. So the deal is that it's not against the law to go into the merge lane and pass. It's how do we say? It's a dick move, but it's not against the law. If it's an unsafe move, you can be charged for that. If you cross the bullnose, which is technically off roadway, then you're not driving on the appropriate place. Driving on the shoulder is illegal, but driving into that merge lane just to get in and get up 10 car lengths is really not friendly, and it causes road rage. Yes, it's the road rage, but it's not specifically illegal. There's nothing on the books that says thou shalt not do that. It's just if you do something else, that could be an unsafe move, unsafe lane change, etc. But man, to get like 5 car lengths ahead, people do the darndest things. ICE vehicles burn all the time. ICE being internal combustion engine vehicles, not ICE being anyway. But they are relatively easy to put out. Battery fires are near impossible to extinguish. Very good point. The battery vehicles, like tow yards now have submersion tanks because these batteries can burn underwater and continuously for a tremendous amount of time. It's wild, and they can put like 100 times the water on them, with the volume of water, and have it not go out or go out temporarily and then light up again. So I'll post the video and because I think it's worth sharing. It's an old video or older video. I think it's really, really good. Chris says, so going back to the whole going into the lane, in the merge lane discussion we just had, bouncing off of batteries for a second. Chris says, but it's not illegal. Thanks. Settling an argument. Yes, not illegal, but could result in charges depending on what else you're doing in that particular move. Yeah. Okay. The ICE vehicles discussion. I'm going to post that on my thing. If you don't already follow me on other platforms, please do, because the YouTube, we're trying to hit 1,000 followers because just because of the wonderful things. No, we're trying to get 1,000 because once we get there, we get special privileges, we get extra bonuses. I say bonuses, we're not going to get money falling from heaven. It just gets us access to tech support and hopefully helps us along the way to grow the channel more. Let's see here. I'm going to read a dad joke. I'm typing in the wrong place. 4-minute warning. Thank you very much. We're going to do dad jokes. That's that 4-minute warning came in from my good friend Akela Draconis, who says he sent me some dad jokes. So I'm going to open up the dad jokes. Here we go. Oh, he sent video messages. Hang on. Let's.
Greetings and salutations. This is Akela Draconis with the jokes for the day. A man walks into a bar. Turns out he's not as good at limbo as he thought he was. My dog ate a whole bag of Scrabble tiles, so I took him to the vet. No word yet. Greetings and salutations.
He's got another one.
This is Akela Draconis with today's jokes. A man walks into a bar.
Oh, it's the same one twice. Okay. Those are 2 jokes and they were great. And I don't think I can download those. I think they just play on my Telegram. And that was a personal message. Let me see. Can I? Oh, I can save the video. I just didn't do it in advance because I would need time to process it. So we need to coordinate this, Akela, so that I can upload them and put you on screen, because I think that's great. Who better than to read the jokes than Akela, who's been providing me with dad jokes for years, I think. Let's see if I can get dad joke. Let's see what we got. Best dad jokes of all times. Let's see what we got here. Best corny dad jokes. I'm afraid for the calendar. Its days are numbered. It's not bad. My wife said I should go do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward. It's good. Why do fathers take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing? In case they get a hole-in-one. So these are cute. Some of these I've heard before. I won't read them all because then I won't have anything for next time. Back tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're doing this whole thing again. Hopefully TikTok figures out what the heck is going on, because TikTok tends to be a generator of great questions. Lots and lots of people jump out there. And hopefully we'll actually have access to the people who are on TikTok. I will set up the promotion for tomorrow's show right now so we can do that. We used to, back in the day, I say back in the day, a couple of years ago when I was doing lives daily, 6,000 people through TikTok every single day, and highs of average 16,000, and the highest, the largest number of live stream participants over a 1-hour period was 40,000 people. Now we're in a couple thousand over the time, but days like today when tech doesn't work, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's been a great slice hanging out with you. And again, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. to do this all over. If you got questions, write them down, prepare them. You can even go to askatrafficcop.ca and send me a voicemail with those questions so I can play them on the show. And that would be cool. All right. You have a great night, a great day. Do amazingness and be safe on the road. No drugs, no alcohol. Try and leave early. No stress. You want to have a good time. Find something nice to listen to. Oh, that's interesting. I just got a total error on Instagram. Well, good thing I was planning on saying goodbye anyway. But let's see if I can reload this. How weird is this? What's going on, internet? As I'm saying goodbye, I'm trying to figure out how to. No, I'm back again. Some weird stuff. Yeah. One only Bando. What's going on, brother? I just saw he jumped in. Good to see you. Yeah. We're back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Hopefully the technology works In the meantime, drive safe, drive sober, no drugs, no alcohol. That's the way to do it. We want to make sure everybody's cool and, survives for the holidays. It's like the worst time to hurt someone. It's never a good time, but the worst time would be to do something dumb during the holidays and ruin Christmas for everyone. Because anyway, I'm going to go dark and say when bad shit happens, it doesn't just affect the person that it happened to. It's not just about you and the person you hit. It's about the entire community, the ripple effect through everything else. Okay, we'll stay light. You have a good day. Okay, pressing that button. When I press the button, it's over. See you tomorrow at 10. Ciao for now. Nicholas. He says, back in the 90s, I used to get free pay-per-view and I slept just fine. # bring back the scrambler. I remember those boxes.